We set Elsa free, George and I, to live as she was born. But freedom always has its price, and in the bush, the price can be high. Poaching is a well-organized business, from the trainers at the top to the bush pilots, skilled at driving a herd towards the hunter's poisoned arrows.
Zebra red, zebra red. This is zebra white.
The poison taken from the acanthera tree is so deadly that just the scratch of an arrow causes death within a few minutes.
Zebra white, calling zebra red. Come in, please, over.
Zebra red here. Azuba.
I have located a herd in Lorogi Plains. They're a bit spread out, feeding in small groups. I shall circle around and gather them.
Bravo! Kuja upesi!
McKinney!
Bakia 20.
There are those who say that poaching is a part of bush life. I wonder if they could say this, if they were to see. The sight of slaughter, all for the sake of a few pounds of ivory, never ceases to shock.
Elsa? 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 Oh, Elsa. What's the matter? Did you hurt your foot? Oh, we have to get you home, won't we?
Often George comes upon injured or abandoned cubs, and he brings them home to me. We watch the babies grow, regain their strength, and then return them to the bush, where they belong. I hope they like your cooking today, Nuru.
They always like my cooking. Anyway, they gobble it up so quickly. I don't think they test it.
Well, at least they won't be pining away for their mother.
Not when you are their mother, Mansell.
Only for a while, Nuru, till we can get them well enough and big enough to set free.
You weren't supposed to worry.
I did, against orders.
I told you last night when I radioed it was all right.
And that there was a small army of poachers out there somewhere.
When Katie sees to it, I stay out of trouble.
Didn't happen to see Elsa out on patrol, did you?
Well, no, Mrs. Adams. Not a sign of her.
Why? What's the matter?
I don't know. I just have a feeling that maybe...
You have good reason to be concerned. Those human jackals are a threat to all the animals in the reserve.
Well, then the tire tracks you were going to follow led nowhere.
We followed them to the hot top, and we were too far behind.
We radioed Mombasa, but I'm sure the poachers switched vehicles and took a back route into town. Now, Katie, will you try them again and see if they've turned anything up?
Sure.
He must be starved.
How'd you get it? Ah, the phone. That's probably the commissioner. He's heard about the elephants already.
Nuru, will you help me load this stuff in the truck?
Let's eat and wait. You've had a cup of coffee.
Game department.
Good morning, George.
Good morning, John.
Oh, George, I'm sorry to ring you up so early, but...
That's all right. I haven't been to bed yet.
Your problem?
Oh, just the usual. Poachers. What's yours?
It's Elsa.
Elsa?
What is it?
Yeah, she seems to have been roughed up a bit.
How badly?
What happened?
Nothing serious.
Yeah, she's injured her leg. Listen, I say, George, would you do me a favor and get over here as soon as you can and take her off my hands? Kiburo is not too crazy about her as a house guest.
All right, John. Thank you. I'll be right up.
Okay, thanks, George.
Well, I guess she's been in a fight. I'll go up there and get her.
No, you have enough to do. I'll go and take Nuru. Just knowing it was John Forbes who had Elsa made me feel easier. John is an old Kenya hand like us, and he knows animals. they doing way out here?
Looking for a chance to put a poisoned arrow into a stray cow or goat.
Nuru, you should have an open mind about people. Old Wallangulus aren't poachers.
Oh, no. Only the man.
Jumbo Kibero,
Jabu Mem Sab. Come in.
would you tell Mr. Forbes I've come to get Elsa?
Good, good, I'll tell him. Mr. John, it is Mrs. Adams.
Joy, I thought George was going to drop by.
I insisted.
I imagined you would.
Is she all right?
Well, at first I thought she'd been in a cat fight. When I checked this morning, it didn't look like a claw wound. Come on, she's in the back.
Elsa. I may need your help. I'm so grateful to you. How did you find her?
Well, I was driving back from one of the other field stations, and she was lying across the bush road.
If she'd been left out, she may have been attacked by hyenas. How did you manage to get her in your rover?
Oh, it was easy to coax her in. I think she recognized me, knew my smell.
That's from Elsa. Nuru, would you bring the lorry around? I'm sure that Mr. Forbes and Kibero would be glad to help us load Elsa.
I left some porridge, on the stove.
I'll bring the lorry, Mansa. We can manage Elsa.
By the way, we saw some Wallangulus when we drove up.
Yes, some of my men caught them camping on the property. I told them to get packing or I'd have the authorities on them.
You're too much, Elsa. Yes, I'm happy to see you, too.
It's overheating again. I thought we put in a new thermostat. No, we're still waiting for the new shocks. We're gonna have to outfox them in Nairobi. Order the new parts 6 months before they break.
Very good, sir.
Alex, let me fly us, Haraka.
Poaching is cruel. Death does not come easily. A snared animal's struggle is probably the worst sight there is.
Cut the wire. Yes. She can go to the field. Now, go on, go on. All right. Come on, this is the last one, I promise you, Elsa. After a couple of days, we'll see if you can go without.
If you're feeling better, we'll be driving you back soon.
I know somebody who's not too happy about that. She's remembering all the cute little things you did when you were a cub, huh? Like clawing up the cedar chest.
And you made me refinish it.
That's because you're better at it.
I got a dead leopard in there. Found it strangling in a snare. Tried to save it, but it was too late. I found these. Then
There are gaps in the hedges.
Joe Canini is George's boss and our good friend. He's skilled at keeping the peace between department bureaucrats and game wardens in the bush, like George. But some problems can't be handled long distance, and George has to meet with him wherever he happens to be.
If we send out a strike force into elephant country, they turn up nothing. And then we discover the poachers are taking leopard in the highlands.
I must agree with you both that the smugglers are here in Mombasa. But I must confess, we have turned up no evidence to show a link with the local poachers.
But it has to be that. They are coordinating all this activity. Smuggling out the rhino horn to Asia, ivory, cheetah, and leopard skins to world markets.
We know they're using sophisticated equipment. We've picked up some of their two-way coded radio signals.
And we've spotted their bush planes. All that costs money.
There has to be a local chief of operations in each reserve that reports to the smugglers here in Mombasa.
Kanini, you're the chief game warden. Take another look at your people. There is always someone who is vulnerable to bribery.
Inspector, I can't speak for all the other senior wardens, but I trust all of my men. Some of them have been with me for years.
In our business, you can't trust anyone. Someone must be giving the information to the local poachers to help them avoid your patrols.
Hey, you. What are you doing? Ow! Been gone a week instead of a day.
How'd the meeting go?
It went fine. Any calls?
Yes, John Forbes wants you calling.
Oh, boy. He wants me to come over and play chess, and I just don't think I can face it tonight.
Why not? It'll relax you.
I can find plenty of stuff to relax me around here.
I didn't mean that.
No, darling. My ego takes a beating over there. John is never going to make a chess player out of me.
Either you made the most daring move since Fisher psyched out Spassky, or your mind is not in the game. Look, it's easy. No way out, see? Here, try it again.
No. A man makes a mistake, he's got to pay for it. No, you're right. I'm just not with it. I'm tired.
Now, what about a brandy and soda?
No, thanks. Look at it, John. Where else in the world do you get a view like this from your porch?
I thought you came up here for my brilliant company.
Cabiro's cooking and you know it. Listen, I've bent your ear about my problems. I haven't asked anything about yours. How'd your latest experiment turn out?
Another dead end. The locusts are totally unaffected by synthetics, but I've started a series of tests with a natural repellent, and I've docked it up a bit. It's too soon for conclusions, but hope springs eternal.
Well, you're proof of that, John. I can remember standing out here after the bankers from Mombasa forced you to sell everything you owned. Now look at you.
Call it progress. When my crops failed, I panicked. The money people lost confidence. I could have recouped, but they foreclosed. Oh, well, time heals a lot of things, George. Who would have thought then that I'd be standing here now, looking at my own place? I should say our place. Remember how hard you worked in that first year?
My knees still hurt.
I wish you'd gone in with me then.
Well, you only offered me a junior partnership, John. No, you know I'm no good at growing things. Animals, that's my life. There won't be much of the life we knew, John, if we don't stop this poaching.
Oh, poaching will always be part of the bush life.
John, have you ever seen a leopard strangled in a snare? And you know it's taken 2, maybe 3 days for it to die. Where it tears loose, half crippled, and we have to go out in the bush and shoot it before it kills somebody.
I know it's an ugly business, George.
That's it. A business. A bloody business. Run by men who'd sell the soul of this country as quick as they would a skin.
Oh, you know, if there's anything I can do to help.
I know.
Beautiful, Elsa. Yes, you're free to leave now.
Go on, get out of here, you freeloader.
Now you've hurt her feelings.
I'll bet. Well, I'm going to get back to work.
Darling, you're not going to stay up half the night poring over those personnel records, are you? I mean, what do you expect to find?
Darling, I've just got to convince myself that none of my men are involved in the poaching thing. Hey, what's the matter?
Nothing.
You're going to miss Elsa. Is that it? Joy,
I've been thinking about John Forbes.
what about John Forbes?
It's just something that I feel you should know in case it means anything.
All right.
That day I went to the control center to pick up Elsa,
Mm-hmm.
I saw Wallangulu walking down the road from his place.
What does that have to do with John?
Well, probably nothing. He said he'd caught the Wallangulu hanging around, and I've just been thinking about it.
Are you trying to tell me you think one of John's men are involved in it? Who do you have in mind? Old Kabir?
No.
Well, then who? Darling, you're not suggesting John.
I'm not suggesting anyone, but since I've told you, I'd think about it.
It was a good supper. How is she?
Better.
About what you told me.
I didn't want to. I had to make myself.
No, you're absolutely right to tell me. I've got to be objective. About my men and a friend. And you were right, honey. John is a logical suspect. His job gives him cover. He was born here. He knows this place like the back of his hand. Darn, it's just hard to believe.
What will you do?
I'll have to talk to him. I don't know.
How?
We've been friends a long time. I'll just know.
I felt for George when he left to go to John's. I know how much their friendship meant to him.
Come on. Good morning, Matt.
Morning.
Mr. Forbes in?
It's that tent. He's been watching the grasshoppers all morning.
How about it?
Very.
Morning, John.
Oh, George, how are you?
Fine. What's up?
This might intrigue you. See these little fellows here?
Mm-hmm.
They've had nothing to eat for over 8 hours. And still they won't touch the greens. But the control hopper has eaten everything in sight. Why?
Well, either you've come up with that new synthetic repellent you were after, or you've made a darn good salve dressing.
No, it's just a variation of our best natural repellent, a suspension of neem seed. If the neem tree could only grow in Kenya, our farmers could protect their lands before a hopper plague.
I'm going up to Ndolo Springs this morning on patrol. Come on up with me. I want to ask your advice about something.
I'd like to, George, but I'm going to keep an eye on things around here.
What do you have a deputy control officer for? Let Matthew do it. Come on, the right will do you good.
Pretty glad you came by, George. You're right. It's good to get away.
You look tired. You've been working too hard.
A job like this never lets you go. There's always something more to do.
It's a very personal commitment with you, isn't it, John?
Yes, I suppose it is.
Yeah, when you left after the bankers wiped you out, you swore you'd never come back. What changed your mind? You never did tell me.
You of all people should know that. We're part of this wild land. Aren't we, George?
Let's stretch our legs.
George, you asked me why I came back. I don't know now why I ever left. Anger, pride, I suppose. So I went to London, looked for a job, tried to forget.
Well, I found a job, all right. One of those nice desks, new plastic government office, and the dreary view of Big Ben, reminding me with each bloody chime that time was wasting away. Gets in your soul, Kenya. Can't get away from it. It's funny. You know what I miss most, besides you and Joy? Kibiro. I never realized how fond I was of him. His wife and children. The only family I've got, really. Anyway, this chap at the locus control, he told me about this job, so I flew home. And I looked down from the airplane. Saw my old farm. I knew I could never leave again. No matter what.
You still hope to buy the farm back?
There's a man running through the bush.
Drop spear.
Behind you!
Sorry I'm late. Had to drop John off.
Everything all right?
Yeah, it's fine. Bagged 2 poachers, and John saved my hide.
What happened?
The old one there came at me with a poisoned arrow. And if it hadn't been for John...
George.
What?
That's the man I saw at John's place.
You sure?
You won't find him very cooperative. He has no love of game wardens. He's been in jail before. The little one is just a frightened child. He knows only the name of his father. Zuba, the mighty hunter. And poacher.
Amo Kingereza. Of course you speak English. You deal with people who speak English. Don't give me that evil eye. You say that to the people you sell to. Zuba. How much do they pay you for 100 pounds of ivory? You know the people you sell it to in Mombasa? They get 1,000 times what they pay you.
They laugh at you. Look at the fool, they say. He take all the risk, we take all the profit.
If you'll tell me his name, I will speak to the magistrate in Nairobi. He might go easy on you this time. Azuba, we know there's a man who controls the poaching in this reserve. We want his name.
Is he a European or an African?
Why do you want to protect this poacher chief when it is your son you should be thinking about? Do you want to see him put behind bars your own flesh?
Zuba, what kind of a man are you? You send your son to prison to protect someone who isn't in your tribe?
You tell us the man's name, and your son might go free.
The white man means nothing to me. You know him.
Who is he?
The man who kills the locust.
Oh, come in, Mr. Adamson, come in.
Thank you, Cabero. Would you tell Mr. John that I'd like to see him?
Oh, he's not in.
Where is he?
After you brought him back, he did some work in his office. And then he left.
Listen, I think I left a book here when I came by the other afternoon. You mind if I take a look around?
As Mr. John says, this house is your house.
He may have left it in his desk in the office.
Oh, that will be like Mr. John. Everything is in order.
Did you know about this radio equipment?
Oh, yes. Mr. John uses it to talk to his boss in Nairobi.
This is Adamson, Game Department Network. Please identify and locate. This is Adamson. Please identify and locate.
Katie here, Vehicle 2, patrolling 12 miles west of the riverbed.
Wamai, Outpost 3, over.
I'm speaking to you from a transmitter in John Forbes' office at the Locust Control Station. He's got his equipment set on our Game Patrol Department band. That's how the poachers avoided our strikes. He's been monitoring our field frequencies. I think he's headed for an airstrip somewhere. He's probably radioed his friends in Mombasa to pick him up. Now, if you spot a plane, try and determine the flying direction. And watch for Forbes in a Locust Control Land Rover. If you spot him, contact me on our alternate field frequency. And why am I? Be especially alert for Forbes. If there's a hidden airstrip, it's under heavy cover, and that means the plateau. Since I'm closest, I'll head out in that direction. I'll be in contact en route. Adamson out.
George?
Everything will be all right, Namsaf.
over just past Outpost 3, sir. Turn onto left branch, heading for the plateau.
Read your Weimar.
Katie here. Bush plane flying northwest in direction of plateau. I'll try to track it.
I missed the plane.
Well, you had plenty of time.
Whatever you say.
I'd say you used us, John. You used Joy. You used me. Your friends.
What can I say, George? I needed money to get my farm back.
What did the commissioner say?
John's going to be the government's chief witness at the trial.
Poor John. When he's free, will he be able to stay here?
In a way, I hope so. He'd be lost anywhere else. Come on.
Life in the bush isn't easy. We never thought it would be. But wounds heal quickly in Africa. After the rains, there's always new grass and new life.